It's time again for Beer Buds in the Big Sky. We're just a bunch of Montanans trying to figure shit out. So sit back, relax, and join Mike Joe Peck.
Boy, did you see Ben Davis, that top vote getter? He even beat Andy Fury. Wow.
Steve Quinnell.
It was a good election for the city of Whitefish.
Ryan Hennon.
The Broncos stink.
And your boy from Las Vegas, Ed Doctor.
Hey, it's about 72 degrees here right now. Not too bad. I enjoyed joining you from here for sure. You know,
we did check with Ed. He is safe. So just in case anybody was worried, he's not in a hole.
Yeah. He's actually in the other room in the basement here.
Remember, Ed,
on my way down here.
There's no sex in the champagne room.
No. I'm just doing a lot of golfing. 4 over at the turn today. Shot an 86. Not bad.
Wow.
Not too bad.
I struggle with the back nine.
Yeah.
You guys know.
It's nice of you to go golfing when the same week that SNAP benefits end. I'm sure the poor people appreciate that.
How dare you, Ed?
I know. I was thinking my way down here. Being MAGA is like being gay. It really is. You don't just wake up one day and you're dumb as a bag of rocks. You just don't. You're born that way, just like gay people. Yeah. Yep.
At least you can blame it on your parents.
Yeah.
Yes. It's genetic.
That's true.
So what do we got going on this week, boys?
So I think the first topic is the election night from Tuesday. I think it's fair to say blue wave across the country.
Landslide.
Dude, in Kalispell.
Pretty crazy. Pretty crazy. I think every county in Virginia swung like really hard to the left.
There were only a couple that there's a first.
Yeah.
See Ed toking a bowl on the podcast right as we're talking.
That's just tobacco.
I'm outside. I'm outside. I got to chill out, man. This got me pumped. This whole Tuesday got me pumped big time. Fucking Ryan Hunter, bro. I love it.
Yeah, crazy.
It's great.
Friend of the pod.
Look at the Facebook fucking comments. Oh, my God.
What are people?
Oh, my God.
People pissed
Poor
at Ryan?
Oh, dude, people are so pissed because a communist Portland fucking liberal fag is now their mayor.
He hasn't even taken their
brutal.
guns yet.
No. Give him a day
give
or
the
two.
guy a chance to seize some firearms.
Hey, we like Ryan on the podcast. Ryan, we love you. Good job. He's such a nice guy. He's got a great family, and his heart's in the right place. Come on, he has campaigned. This is his third campaign where he's talked about keeping affordable housing in Kalispell when even Kalispell is skyrocketed, and he cares about like trying to drive business into the downtown. I know he's got that unpopular opinion about angled-in parking on Main Street there, but at least he's willing to talk with people about it. He's not running and hiding from it from like our current congressman, Mr. Zinke.
Who?
Right.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, what?
Okay.
Oh,
He'll sit down a couple beers, I think, though.
Yeah, I think we should start putting up those Sasquatch signs, where they just have like Sasquatch kind of walking and looking. We should put those up around Whitefish. Have you seen Zinke?
Yeah, but it wasn't just Virginia and New Jersey. It was all across the nation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like Americans' voices rang out across the nation in unison. Maybe shit should suck less.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, Virginia was a bloodbath, Turns out when you fire almost all of Northern Virginia, that's bad for the Republicans in an election. Thanks, Doge.
Yeah.
Yeah, those guys were pretty centrist candidates, Virginia and New Jersey. But I noticed at the end that they started really talking about how expensive everything is.
Right.
Yeah.
One of them's even talking about we're going to declare an emergency and we're going to freeze your power rates.
Yep.
That sounds pretty DSA, but
Yep.
it seems.
Well, it was puzzling for me because, I expected a Republican landslide because, like Trump says, his approval rating's at a record high. There's no more inflation. Prices are low. He's ended 29 wars. Everyone hates the Democrats, and things have never been better than they are right now. So why wasn't a Republican landslide? I don't understand.
Well,
You know what? I'm dumbfounded.
I know why.
I am.
If you don't know why, you're really not paying attention.
Why?
because voting
like
the voting was rigged.
Oh yes,
You guys, I mean, Jesus
Classic.
Christ, you guys aren't paying attention to that?
classic.
Okay.
How
Because what do you-
rigged the voting is, especially in California, where it was an all mail-in
Steve,
ballot for Prop 50.
That's what I'm. You know, I'm going to tell you what. It's fucking insane that Texas goes ahead and just redistricts, does whatever the fuck they want. But now that California does a voter initiative, let the people decide. It's fucking corrupt. It's illegal. I mean, what the
It's
fuck is really
unconstitutional.
going on here?
because it's a
I
mail-in
don't
ballot.
understand. The American public can't be that fucking stupid to sit there and say, okay, you know, Texas did it because they get to do it because they can. They're Texas, but California can't, even though they put it in front of their fucking voters.
No, no.
Well,
I think the American people
Fucking
aren't that
stupid.
dumb. I mean, I think they proved it on Tuesday.
Right.
You know, they came
That's
out
what
to
I'm
the
saying.
polls. They exercised their most powerful weapon they have is to
did.
vote.
The only weapon we have right now.
Telling you, it was
wanna-
it was a landslide. Ed, woke is back. There's
Woke is
25.
back.
There's 25 genders now. We're gonna trans the
away.
economy. DEI for every man, woman, and child. We're releasing the Epstein files. We're doing it all, baby.
You saw that
You guys
Supreme
gotta
Court
do
was
yourselves a
even worried.
favor.
They say you can't change your gender on your passport right after the vote.
Yeah, I saw that.
You got to look at Fox News about the Mandami. I mean, it's fucking awesome. They're snowflaking so fucking hard on
yeah.
this shit. Life is over. Fuck. I mean, it's
Yeah.
just insane.
Well, I think-
Well,
I mean,
Red
Sean
Beret
Hannity
guy
had
was
Red
even
Ball.
saying,
Oh, Curtis Silva.
Silva.
Yeah.
What's his name?
Silva, yeah, I think.
Did anybody see? Did anybody see? Shit. What was the name of the movie where the red people,
Star Wars.
the communists came in?
Red Dawn.
Red Dawn. Yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't those guys? Didn't the Wolverines wear red
Yeah,
berets?
yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah.
That's what. That's
I
the
used
only
to
thing I
ride-
could think of when I saw that guy.
I used to ride the subway with Curtis's gang. The what are they called? The Guardian Angels.
Oh,
That's like his
is that
thing.
where it
Oh,
comes
yeah.
from?
Yeah, they're all so that's why he wears the red beret, and they wear these white shirts with red print called Guardian Angels, and they're all like martial artists and ex-military, and they're like a private vigilante group, and they ride the subway and they try to like stop crime. I used to see them all the time on the subway in Chicago. They just like you'd randomly see like a guy walking around and be like, oh, it's a Guardian Angel. But they've been doing that since like the 70s.
Yeah,
in
he
New York.
sounded the most New York of all
He
three
really
of
did.
those candidates.
He
I thought
really
you
did.
got that accent down to it.
Yeah.
And I was really kind of surprised that those two boomers, they couldn't even come up with 50% of the vote together.
I know.
You know, that young
Yeah.
kid, 34-year-old, he
know.
got over 50% of the vote.
Right.
Yeah. Well, and it was funny as hell because the early projections were that the write-ins were going to beat Eric.
I know. Well, I mean, even
It was
even
fucking hysterical.
Ed, even Georgia that voted Trump last year flipped two statewide seats that haven't gone blue in 25 years. It kind of illustrates your point why the GOP is trying to gerrymander everything.
Yeah, they're fucked. They know they're fucked. They don't have a fucking chance in hell because of the shit that they've been pulling. I don't think people like it. I know we're going to get to it later, but how the fuck do you have a Speaker of their House that doesn't know a goddamn motherfucking thing? What the fuck are you doing, Mike Johnson? Fuck you and your, I haven't seen that report. Well, I'll have to look into that. That's
know.
news to me. Fuck you. You know absolutely everything, and we're not that fucking stupid.
Well, and I think, like Joe Peck was saying, people are fed up. I mean, the Republicans have had 15 years to come up with an answer to Obamacare. It's been, I was thinking about
they
that the other day. It's been 15 years since that law was passed. All they want to do is repeal it. They've never presented a replacement. They never will.
Well,
They have
they're-
ideas of a plan.
Right,
Ideas
concepts
of a
of a
plan.
plan.
Concepts of a plan.
Well, their plan is clear. It costs you more.
Right.
Their
That's the
plan is
plan.
clear. Yeah, we're gonna go. We'll just make it all privatized again, and it'll just make it worse.
Yeah, and I think, I've got some other notes here about how people are fed up. I don't know if you guys saw the Colorado ballot measure. So there was a ballot measure in Colorado where it's an initiative that guarantees free breakfast and lunch for all public school students, paid for by increasing taxes on high income households. They're calling it the woke herd round the world. But it's just sad because now we have these greedy kids that want free breakfast. Well, this billionaire's now
We do that in Montana
He can't
right
get
now.
he can't get his fourth yacht.
We do it in Montana right now. Every kid gets free breakfast and lunch in Montana right now.
Not free
They did
yachts.
it. They did it during COVID, and then they took it away, and now
Right.
it's back in Montana because we have a $200 billion surplus because of our property taxes. But
Slush fund.
at least the money is going. At least that piece of money is going towards kids.
Yeah, and I saw another article that kind of explains why people are fed up. It was from Politico. It said, top Trump advisor says president will focus on affordability next year. Cool. No worries, man. Take your time.
We got it. Yeah.
Take your time, man. No worries.
Well, who knew that Americans would be pissed off if there's
First year we
mass
gotta
military
get-
in the streets and everything suddenly costs twice as much?
I
mean,
know.
who knew Americans
Right.
would get upset?
Well,
at that
and
kind
never
of
mind the
stuff?
fact that he guaranteed to lower prices across the board day one. And what's that old famous Harry Truman quote? The buck stops over there.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The buck stops somewhere else.
So that there was something on the radio today that a member of the House makes, like, let's say when they're in session, about $80 an hour. Well, now with that not being in session, it's up to they're making about $180 an hour now.
Oh, yeah.
So since they're not working, what a vacation! I love it. I need that fucking job.
Yeah, I actually ran into some of my friends tonight at Ed's Bar. They work for the Park Service, actually. They both work for Glacier National Park, and they're on furlough right now. And they should be ramping up for, they're supposed to do all their planning for next year now. One of them is the guy who controls all the weeds in the whole entire fucking park. And I know Ed likes weed, but this is the bad kind of weed.
Yeah.
And the other one is in
like
charge
that.
of operations for the park. And she's like, yeah, we're furloughed. And I was like, oh, congratulations. And they're like, yeah, 37 days off is nice, but we really want to do the work of the park
was gonna
because
say,
when we come back,
I'd get bored.
it's going to be so fucking hard to do our jobs because we're not going to have enough time to do it all. And we're not going to, and we might get paid for all that time we got off, but then we feel guilty.
Right.
Because that money is coming to us for shit we didn't do. And, it's just completely fucked up. And imagine if you're an air traffic controller. Like, your job is to keep people safe in this country, and you're working for nothing. And you're like, well, I can't, how long can I actually sustain this? So there's this moral fiber of these bureaucrats, for lack of a better term, these people that work for the American government that want to keep doing their jobs, and they're doing it while they're not getting paid. And I don't blame them one fucking bit for calling out sick.
Yeah.
And
Did you see all the flight cancellations coming up?
Yeah, there's going to
that's
be
going to
ton.
start tomorrow.
Starting
Yeah.
tomorrow?
Yeah.
It's fucking huge.
Yeah. It is.
Yeah, no food, no flights until you agree to higher health insurance premiums.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
Until your
Well,
health
people
insurance
are voting-
premiums
they're
double.
blaming the Republicans. People are
Yeah.
definitely blaming Republicans. I don't give a fuck what anybody thinks. It's just America in general. The polling says it. They're blaming Republicans.
How can you look at what happened on Tuesday and say they're blaming anyone but Republicans? Really?
Oh, my
I
God.
mean,
It would be hard to.
I know.
Even Trump admitted it. He said we're
Yeah.
taking the hit here.
Well, did you hear what he said? He said after the
My
election
dick is
results,
big.
he said, all we want is voter ID. You go to a grocery store, you have to give ID. You go to a gas station, you give ID. But voting,
Groceries is
they
an
voting,
old-fashioned
there's no
word.
ID. It's the clear reason is because they cheat.
I think he meant Apple Pay. You go to the grocery store, you give them Apple Pay. You go to the
But,
gas station, you give them
but
Apple Pay.
the president does have a
I
point.
hate it when they ask for my ID to buy eggs.
was
I
gonna
really
say,
fucking
the
hate
president
it. I
does
thought
have a point.
The gray hair would help.
Yeah,
with
the
that.
other day I went to get gas and I forgot my ID at home and I couldn't buy my gas, and then I went to buy ice cream at the store and they turned me away. It sucked.
It's terrible.
Question for you, Steve. Do you think Trump has ever pumped his own gas?
No.
There's no chance,
fucking
right?
Has he ever driven?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Does he have a license?
Yeah.
I'm sure he's got the greatest car.
Does
in
he
the
have a
world.
license?
He's probably
Did you see him-
driven
did
some
you
like
see him
crazy
yesterday?
sports car before.
I'm sure he
Yeah.
has.
Yeah.
Yesterday he said
I
that
mean, he
brought
must have a
grocery
passport
prices
because he
down.
went to Epstein's Island many times.
He said he brought grocery. He goes, I brought grocery prices down. You can see it. He goes, it's an old-fashioned word, groceries, but it's a good word. What the fuck?
I know. It's
Well,
crazy.
Then there was something about how he brought the price of Thanksgiving dinner down at Walmart, so it went from $21 to $15 or something. But they cut 6 things out of the actual what was a Thanksgiving dinner at Walmart,
Like the
and then they
turkey.
took yeah exactly
right,
the
yeah.
turkey was probably the first thing that went.
Spam.
And then it's in the
Turkey.
shape of a turkey.
Yeah.
And then they took out all the name brand stuff and replaced it with great value. The stuff that is left over at the bottom of the floor and the
Western
plants
Family.
that they put in a
Right,
bag and call it
That's the
the
good
same
stuff.
thing.
Hey Tom, a mouse fell
Biggest
into the
Western
vat of
Family.
noodles again. It's like, well, we'll put those in the Western Family boxes.
I mean, he is searching so hard for wins right now, and it's pretty funny.
Well, but in all seriousness, I think the main takeaway from Tuesday night, because I've heard a lot of people talking, I don't think the main takeaway is the Democrats should run more socialists or the Democrats should run more moderates. I think the main takeaway is the Democrats should run candidates that are likable, and have policies that are popular in the districts in which they are running.
Oh yeah, and make it
Weird.
simple. I mean, I think that was the lesson for me from Mandami, is that everyone knew that he wanted to freeze the rent.
Right.
Everyone knew he wanted fast and free buses, and good healthy childcare.
Yeah.
It was a pretty simple message that resonated. He said it from
Right.
day one to day 3 and day at the end.
Yep.
And it's something that Democrats can't really do very well. But there's a lesson from that young guy, Mandami, that other Democrats should be listening to, is you got to find your message. You got to say your message over and over until you want to throw up, and then you keep saying it.
And he's got to do things that we don't do here on the podcast and make it not about Donald Trump.
Right.
He
Well,
went where he needed to go. He went to all the places. He went to clubs, all different ethnicities. He went to gay bars. He did everything. He went and told people, hey, I'm one of you. Shit sucks. It's super fucking expensive. The poor are getting poorer. The wealth gap is growing.
Yeah.
Take a fucking chance. And that's how I see it. I don't see this guy. Like, we have no fucking problem taking fucking Muslim money when it comes to a private fucking jet, but we got a problem with a Muslim mayor? Fuck you, Mark.
Yeah,
Fuck
well,
you.
that was only $4 billion. Imagine how much money Mandami is going to be in charge of being the mayor of fucking New York.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, geez.
Well, there was Chuck Schumer and
400 million. Sorry.
Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries did release a statement, saying that they're not sure if Mandami went about this decisive and crushing victory in the right way.
Well,
said that? Really?
No, I'm just
I'm making that up.
Jesus
But
Christ.
let's talk about that a little bit, because
It's sad that I could think that's
so let's
true.
talk about Zoran
Yeah.
Mamdani was elected, mayor of New York City last night. So
the
that'll be the next
first
topic.
candidate to get over 1 million votes in the last 50 years.
Oh, yeah.
Took an immigrant candidate
Yep.
to do it. The last candidate to get over 1 million years was Abraham Beams in the early 70s, and he was an immigrant.
I really like that Abraham Beams guy. He did great things in New York.
Well, it's
Everybody
like,
knows that guy. Beams Field. And they named a lot of things after him.
Yeah, he was before the Coke.
Oh. Well, Mamdani won pretty handedly. New York City is over. It's finished. The Times Square M&M store will feel the sword of Islam.
Yeah.
And I can't wait.
Yeah,
Well, it's like,
New York Stock Exchange is moving to Mississippi, I heard.
Yeah.
Yeah, all these people. Joe Rogan will be out of New York. That's cool. I hope he moves to Nebraska. I hope he likes it there.
Well, and it's like you hear the same thing where it's like you were just talking about his policies.
Sorry, Nebraska.
And it's like he wants to raise the minimum wage to $30, and it's like, okay, Republicans have been crowing about this for years. They're saying if you raise the minimum wage to $20, then a hamburger's going to be $20. It's like, well, a hamburger is $20 now, and the minimum wage is $10. So what the fuck are we
Yeah.
even talking about here?
Well, part of the problem
Right?
part of the problem is corporate greed too.
Yes.
I mean, there's no reason that these people at the top of these giant companies are making 100 or 1,000 times the people that are doing the actual work of the company. I mean, it's crazy.
Corporate profits are at record highs while the job market stagnates.
Yeah, I mean, I looked
And it's
it
like
up
people are
today. We keep beating our heads against the wall about we got to lower the tax rates, or this whole Epstein shutdown is about giving taking away services so that we can give tax cuts to the uber wealthy, to the people in the top 1%. So I was like, man, what the fuck were the tax rates going back in history? And we've only had a federally mandated income tax since 1913. It's not that long. It's just over 100 years. But people in this country, especially rich people, knew when they needed to sacrifice.
Theft.
And it's time now. It's time now for them to really wrap their heads around that.
Preach it, brother.
That it's time to sacrifice. 1942 to
Oh,
1944, it was over 90%. In 1944, the tax rate on the top tax rate was 94%, and people could afford it. And it was over 90% until 1964. 1964, it dropped to 77%.
Jesus.
And then by 1981, it had dropped to 70%. And what it is now, and then by 1992, it dropped to 31%. So we're talking about, and those are the years, like starting in the 1980s. If you look at the deficit curve, it goes like this forever, and then it goes straight up in the 1980s. And that's why, and everybody understands the difference between revenues and expenses.
Wait,
and
let me get
doing?
this straight. You want the people who have more to pay more, and the people who have less to pay less.
You commie pinko.
Absolutely.
Hunter,
Well,
can
I
you
mean,
say that?
we don't necessarily we don't need the people who have less to pay less. We just need the people who pay more to pay more. We need right now we're at 37% is our highest tax bracket.
Right, but
That's our
it's-
highest marginal tax rate. What if it went up to 50% like it was from 1982 to 1986? How much would that decrease the deficit, and how many more services could we provide people?
Well, and
No one wants to fix anything. America's about arguing about stuff. Don't start fixing
Right.
stuff now.
Well, and he
Well,
wants
they're
Sorry.
all paid to keep
I
it this way.
I
They're
do.
all
I am an elected
Democrats
official. I
and
do like to think
Republicans.
about
They're
how do
both.
we.
They're all getting paid.
Yeah.
I mean, they're all getting paid by these guys to make sure that it doesn't change, that nobody raises their corporate tax rate. But I'm telling you, people like Mandami get elected, people like James Talrico gets elected, people like Russ Cleveland, people like Graham Plattner. You're going to fucking start seeing that. You're going to start seeing that a conversation because these people know America does need this money. We are the richest country in the fucking world, but why are we giving it to 10 goddamn people?
I know.
Yeah. I think what you're saying there, Ed, is right. It is the Mandamis, it is the Clevelands, the Plattners, and Tallaricos. That's who Democrats are starting to listen to for their message.
Yeah.
You know, and they're going to play out differently all across America, depending on what your local district looks like and how good your candidate is and how well liked they are. I mean, this is kind of like high school presidential election. You know, you got to be liked to get elected.
It's why you need politics
You
that
know,
are appealing to the people that you
D-
represent.
Yeah, and the DSA candidate in New York City might win, but 3 out of the 4 DSA candidates in Missoula lost. The DSA
Right.
candidate in Whitefish lost. So you have to be likable to actually win.
Yeah, and I think that's the when you hear Democrats talk about, because you know I've not been kind to Ezra Klein on this show, and you hear these Democrats talk about big tent Democratic Party and what that looks like. I don't think it looks like we need to get rid of abortion rights. We need to totally abandon trans people. I think you need to have politicians that are likable with policies that are appealing to the districts they represent. And that looks very different in New York City as it does in the suburbs of Virginia.
Yeah.
And those two people, you could still run as a Democrat in New York City and have a totally different platform. I mean, not totally different, but your policies are going to be different than they will be, in the suburbs of D.C. and Virginia.
You're asking people to see shades of gray,
I
and we
know,
want
I
fucking
know,
black and
it's
white.
silly.
I mean, what I'm taking away from this is that when people start talking about the services that government should provide,
Right.
that's what they're voting for. Because there are services that government should provide. The reason that we have government is to
Abortions and
provide,
genital
the
mutilation.
services that we can't provide for ourselves. We
I
got to
want-
have good roads. We got to have good infrastructure. Why do we need good
I
infrastructure?
want to chop my penis off, and the government's
Because
going to pay for it.
If our rail system breaks down, our economy is going to break down. We
Yeah.
can't
Yeah, yeah.
It is
afford
broke down.
to. I mean, we have to have these. We have to have the services that government is going to provide. And I think
It's
that's
broken
to me.
bad.
That's what I hear when I look at Mandami is talking about. Yeah, we need to get back to a government that can provide services for you, like childcare,
Sure.
like rent freezing, so that you
Right.
can stay in your apartment.
We're going to pick up the
And
garbage on
Jesus
Thursday.
fucking Christ, let's stop talking about the things that government doesn't do, like provide abortions, like
Well, I don't know about that.
like
Ensuring
worry, like
illegals.
fucking worry about the color of your skin. Like we got to stop dealing with that shit and focus on what the real objective of
Right.
what government is and why
Well,
it's
part
there.
of the thing a government has to do is deliver, and I think that's
That's the other
Mandami's
part.
hardest
That'll be
role. I mean,
tough.
campaigning is easy, campaigning is fun. Delivering and governing is difficult.
Ryan Hunter's going to have the same issue in
Yeah,
Kalispell, I think.
he is. But
Oh, yeah.
What are they not? What is the other side actually delivering? What are Republicans delivering?
Not a
Oh, no.
goddamn thing.
Only Democrats
They're
have
only
to deliver.
taking away
Republicans
services.
don't have to deliver. This
They're going
is
to look
politics.
at they're going to look at affordability next year, Steve. But it's also very
Well, I
interesting.
just want
Hates.
the electorate to pull their heads out of their ass and
That-
say, "Yeah, let's fucking
well,
do this."
Well, that ain't going to happen.
They deliver the hate and the division. That's exactly what
Yeah.
they deliver.
Yeah.
The fucking division, what they're doing, it is insane, and I think people are fucking sick of it. We don't want to hate our neighbors anymore. I just don't think we do.
Well,
It's fucking brutal.
People are freaking out. Like Steve, you said Joe Rogan's going to move to Nebraska or something, and you said they're going to move the stock exchange, and maybe it was Ed or someone was telling me Barstool Sports might leave New York City,
Yeah.
and it's like, this is. They said it's too dangerous now. This is just another chapter in the book we all love, titled "Conservative Man Proudly Frightened of Everything."
Yeah.
And I was like,
Yeah,
all right,
it's a-
guys, just have fun. Like,
Yeah. The boogeyman's coming.
Yeah.
Black
where you
people
feel
want to
safe.
rape your wives. Yeah, it's all the same
but
story.
it's
over and over again.
It's crazy to believe that, it's really shocking to think that New York City elected this seemingly normal guy as opposed to that crazed sex pervert
Mr.
Cuomo.
Triple
Or the
Hands,
guardian angel
what
guy.
do we call
Yeah,
him?
he sounds smart.
Well, and it's also very ironic to me that Mamdani wants to impose a 2% millionaires tax. So on any income you make over $1 million, a 2% tax, and these rich people lost way more than that, donating to Cuomo in his back-to-back election losses in the primary and the general.
Yeah,
It's like you guys have already, if you would have just not given any money to Cuomo, you'd have been fine.
I heard David Sirota give the stat today. 1 in 4 people in New York City live in poverty.
Yeah.
1 out of 24 people in New York City are millionaires.
Right.
And so that discrepancy is big.
Wow.
Well, but
It's like a microcosm.
That's amazing.
Let's not undersell the fact.
Microchasm.
Let's not undersell the fact that, as someone, all of us here who lived through the war on terror and what that looked like after 9/11, here we are, 24 years later, and New York City elected a Muslim as mayor. I mean, that's pretty hopeful if you ask me.
I think it's scary.
How dare you have hope?
I mean,
But he's like the youngest guy ever elected to be mayor in New York.
Right.
If you look at the
34.
wiki pages on all those old white boomers who
I
have
know.
been mayors going back to
come on.
1600,
You know
he's
that-
like the youngest guy there. He's like bright and shiny and smiley.
yeah.
You know that Wikipedia is now it's just a tool of the left to spread left-wing propaganda. Haven't you been paying attention?
Well, that's why I went there.
Right. Right.
Where's
Yeah.
the Google?
Because now you have to go to Grokpedia because that's the truth.
Well,
And only the truth,
Right,
according
Elon.
to Elon Musk.
yeah.
The guy who wants to have 1 million robots being built with human features. Was it human-like qualities?
You're talking to a robot fan here.
I like
so be
robots. I
careful.
don't like one person being in charge of all the robots.
Well, but another thing that I learned about, Mamdami, it was like, I'm curious to see how these grocery stores work. I assume it's just like a public option for a grocery store. It's like, you can come here and get the off-brand goods for cheaper, or you can go to Whole Foods, whatever you want to do.
Well, he can't just do it anyway. It's going to take the city council. It's going to take a lot of shit. I mean, he can't just do these things. But these are ideas I think people said, fuck yeah. You know what I mean? If Mike's numbers are right and there's that many people in poverty, they're all going to want a free fucking grocery store, don't you think?
Right.
And they're all going to want a millionaire to pay 2% fucking tax on over that $1 million to pay for their food. Fuck it.
We like the state-run liquor stores. I mean, they're all
Yeah.
over the place in places like New Hampshire. You pull off on the highway, it's a state-run liquor store
Like
right
literally right on the highway. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Buddy might sent me a picture the other day. He was like, "Oh, they're on the highway." I was like, "Oh yeah." He exit off. He's like,
because
"No,
you come
no,
out of
they're like-
Massachusetts where they aren't ever.
They're right on the
there.
highway."
You leave and it said,
Gotta
don't
go to
drink
the
and drive,
packing.
but
Yeah.
you had to get it from the highway.
But another interesting thing I learned about Mamdani was he had a part of his campaign was he had an anti-loneliness outreach program in his campaign. So he had people that felt isolated from the pandemic, were maybe addicted to screens. He got them out, got them connected with the community, and for them it turned into politics being personal. And I think that's one thing that we don't talk about nearly enough in this country is, this epidemic of loneliness and screen addiction that a lot of people have. And the fact that a guy like that was able to tap into something like that, I think that gives me hope, because I worry about it, not only with myself, but with my kids.
Got kids
like
coming
what
up, yeah.
screen addiction is going to look like in 15, 20 years. So it's nice to see someone who just won to become mayor of the biggest city in the country to take something like that seriously.
Well, it's really one of the few reasons I'm doing this podcast with you guys is I got to get out of the house and talk to real
Yes.
people
I
too,
know.
and so
Yeah.
build some friendships and see Kevin once in a
Let's
while.
blow off some steam. Yeah, it's healthy for us. I think we talked about that after the pod last week. We were like, yeah, I don't always believe everything I say. Sometimes it's
Right.
just to get a joke or whatever. But boy, it sure is fun to be able to blow off some steam about all the shit that's going on.
My wife doesn't want to listen to this shit. Are you kidding me? She want to hear me talk about
Oh,
this.
mine's mad we're not in the casino right now.
Well, she's got a point there, Ed.
Why
Okay,
can't she
moving
go
along.
by herself?
Moving
Oh.
along, we got to get Ed to the
Because of the
casino.
That's it.
So SNAP benefits are halted during the shutdown. Ed's out here golfing.
You
in
mean the
fabulous,
Epstein shutdown?
Yeah, in fabulous Las Vegas, Nevada. And
won't say
meanwhile, SNAP benefits are shut down during the Epstein shutdown here.
Well, it makes perfect sense. I mean, inflation's back at 3%. Everything's getting through the roof. I mean, if we're going to make food less expensive, let's get away with those nasty food stamps that give food to 1 in 8 Americans.
Yeah, that's
No,
free, right? I mean, think of how
No, what
how
you
much
guys-
food's going to come
I
down
didn't
if there's
know
more
this.
of it.
I had no idea. It's $187 a fucking month.
Right.
It's not much.
And
No.
people are fucking pissed about that.
It's not a lot.
Right.
I've said it before. I do believe both parties accept and know, and I don't know if this is fact, but I'm going to assume about 70% of these people on these benefits, they just don't vote. They're not
Yeah.
they're not into politics. You know, they're just trying to get by.
They're
And a
trying
lot
to
of them-
survive, yeah. And politics
Well,
are
a lot
not for
can't
them.
handle reality.
Politics are not for them.
Yeah, but 1 in 8, really, it's 1 in 8 Americans. That's, out of every 8 people, 1 of them is getting food stamps.
Yep.
And
We-
it
we
cuts
all know
straight across the
somebody.
boards. It's veterans, it's seniors, it's 38% kids. Kids, 38% kids
Right.
are on SNAP.
Well, and
I read that most of the recipients are in red states, red counties. I'm not saying that they're not in California, they're not in New York, but I'm saying
They're everywhere.
that the numbers
It's pretty
they're very
evenly
high in
distributed.
red states.
Yeah.
It's pretty evenly distributed across the country. It's not something that is a red state, blue state
Yeah.
problem at all.
Well,
It's not a red state, blue state county.
Saying the
at all.
recipients, though, I think the red states are outweighing the blue states as far as recipients.
Well, the red states are recipients of blue state federal welfare every fucking year.
Every year.
I mean,
Yeah.
of course
Oh, yeah.
they are. Yeah, I mean, the blue states pay more in taxes than they take back, and it all goes to red states.
Right,
I
they
mean, that's
absolutely do.
Do
fucking
not confuse
crazy.
us with facts. We like picking on California.
Well, the refrain I've been seeing from the right is, it's not the government's job to feed you. And I say, yeah, I agree. That money's for Israel, damn it.
Yeah,
yes,
that's right.
yes. AP.
Right? That money's for Argentina.
That
it's not
money
for
is-
you, these poor, hungry
That
American
money is
kids.
for Cash Patel's girlfriend.
Yeah.
What the fuck? How's he gonna? I mean, what are they gonna do when they shut the airports down and Cash can't get to see his girlfriend?
I know. It's going to be...
It's gonna be terrible.
And they say, the government paying $300 a month for a child to eat is socialism. I say, well, we pay senators $15,000 a month and they don't do shit. So what the fuck are we talking about here?
Cash can probably use one of Pam's planes. I bet that's probably the backup plan there.
Oh, Pam Bondi.
Yeah, I don't know. He was using an FBI plane to get to Penn State.
See,
College State.
Yeah.
Has anybody
College
heard her
Station.
music? I haven't.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, she's a singer. Well,
Yeah,
it's her own show.
supposedly she's done more for America than anybody else has. That's what Cash
That's
said.
what he said, and he also said he's so happy to share his life with his life partner,
Yeah.
which to me doesn't sound super Christian because you're supposed to be married, aren't you?
Yeah.
I
But
mean,
how cruel is that? Take away food
Sounds
from
woke.
people.
It's awful.
Sorry,
It is
okay.
so cruel. I mean, it's tough enough out there with the rent. The rent is too damn high. Jimmy McMillan kind of
Yeah.
paved that way from Mandami.
He wasn't wrong, just early.
Yeah, he wasn't wrong. He was just early. I mean, people are definitely feeling the pain with the power rates are doubling. Insurance is through the damn roof.
Yep.
Yeah.
Gas is never going to hit $2 again.
No way.
What was the chuck roast is up at $8 or whatever the hell it is.
$7.99.
Yeah.
Well,
You know,
and just so if you're keeping track at home,
Fuel oil,
$1 trillion
all of it.
bailout to Wall Street, that's not socialism. Trillions of dollars in subsidies to the oil and gas industry, that's not socialism. Billions of dollars in bailouts to farmers, that's not socialism. But healthcare and food to poor people, now that is socialism.
Any service you provide to people is socialism.
That
That's
Right.
because they
is
want to
Any service
control
you
the means of
provide.
production.
Any service you provide to a company is capitalism.
Right.
And that's the way it is.
It's
Right.
not a problem when the robots control the means of production, but if the American
robots.
workers, holy cow.
Well, yeah, I mean, we forgot to talk about the fact that Mandami, he invoked Eugene V. Debs.
He did.
in his acceptance speech,
Yep.
which is pretty crazy
It
because
is
that
crazy.
guy was, I mean, at the time he was vilified. He spent a lot of time in jail.
He ran for
his
president
beliefs.
from jail.
Yeah,
Debs
he
did.
was.
It's that
and-
famous quote from Debs, if there's a lower class in this country, I am in it. If there's a criminal element, I am of it. And so long as there is a soul in prison, I am not free.
Boy, I love that. That's powerful.
I didn't go that deep.
That's a
on
pretty
my,
good one.
on
Debs
my
is
research.
he's an interesting guy.
He is.
I watched CNN after they criticized or
Sorry,
they
we went back.
tore down his speech, his acceptance speech, and they're they hated it. They hate. You could tell this is a corporate media thing. Like, well, I think he was more yelling and he was more. I'm like, okay, that's what the right does, and they've been pretty successful at it. And I liked when he's calling out Trump. I liked how he was like, basically like, I'm the fucking mayor now, so fucking deal with it. This is what the fuck we're gonna do. I really appreciate it, but I couldn't believe Axelrod and all these talking heads are just like, I think he just came off the wrong way. He sounded like a tyrant and this and that. Like, what?
Well, there you
Come
go.
on,
There's the consultant class right back at work.
Hopefully this is going to be one of the nails that in the coffin that keep getting pounded in on corporate media. People are watching podcasts. They don't give a fuck what CNN says. They don't give a fuck what Fox says anymore because it's all bullshit. It is all bullshit.
Right. Well, it's a nice echo chamber if that's what you're looking for.
Well, I think what Mike said is exactly right, though. If he doesn't deliver, then we're all fucked,
Yeah.
They got 2 years, year and a half to deliver or to at least start making some progress.
Well, I mean, Mandami is going to become the next Pelosi as far as the GOP is concerned. I mean, would they run 1,000 attack ads against making her the demon? Mandami is going to be the next demon in the GOP's world, but he's a pretty charismatic guy, and as the president himself said, he's a good talker.
He is.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like I'm curious to see what happens with it.
What happened to Ed? Did he fall down?
He probably went to the bathroom.
But I guess we can wait for Ed to come.
What were we on when I brought it back to Mandami?
It's all right. We were just finishing up with the SNAP benefits being halted. I was thinking the other day about how, everyone's always upset with. They're always upset with that poor people can buy junk food with their food stamp cards. Well, I get mad that billionaires can buy 14-year-olds on a private island, but here we are.
That's exactly what I was just thinking when you brought that up. I'm like, I knew you were going to say that.
Right?
Yeah. Well, there's a difference, though.
I guess Fritos and the other thing.
If you're high class,
right?
There's a different set of rules for you.
Ed, did you see?
It's been that way in America since the inception.
It still is. Ed, did you see that video of speaking of billionaire pedophiles, alleged pedophiles? Did you see that video of Trump saying he feels bad about what the royal family did to Prince Andrew and they stripped his titles over his links to Epstein?
Poor guy. Man. One thing about Trump is I think the left needs to stop calling him the worst president ever and all this because I do hear it a lot, and I'm sure that he'll go down in history as the worst president. He already is the first term.
Who's worse?
But he doesn't give a fuck.
Fillmore?
Nobody around him gives a fuck. His followers don't really give a fuck. I think it's an argument that shouldn't be made at all anymore. Like, we all know. Everybody knows he's the worst president. He's going to make billionaires richer, and that's what matters in America.
Right. Well, isn't it kind of odd that the only time you've seen Trump show empathy for anyone else is the abuser in the Epstein case? I mean, you've got hundreds of girls that were abused, but he feels bad for Prince Andrew.
Well, the only thing worse. Sorry.
Here comes the Maxwell pardon.
Oh, yeah.
Well, the only thing worse than knowing that you're never going to be a king is being stripped of all of your titles.
Oh, yeah. That would be brutal.
I mean, so of course he has empathy.
That's what they did to.
Of course he has empathy.
That's what they did to your boy Saddam. I'm just fucking with you. So speaking of SNAP benefits and this election and the blue wave, I found this interesting. So as SNAP benefits end, Trump throws Great Gatsby party. So I think it was very interesting to see what happened on Tuesday, and when you juxtapose that with this Great Gatsby party and kicking people off food stamps, it feels a little bit to me
it was
like
the same fucking day. It was the same
it's a slap in the
day.
face, man. It's all on
It
purpose.
feels to me
all
like
on
they're
purpose.
high-stepping into the end zone at this point.
It's
That's
roaring
exactly what
20s.
they're
Come
doing.
on.
The Great Gatsby party was just disgusting.
So I have a quote for you, Steve. Okay, let's see if you can
Oh,
if you can
okay.
figure this one out. It says, here's the quote: "They were careless people. They smashed up things and creatures and then retreated back into their money or their vast carelessness or whatever it was that kept them together and let other people clean up the mess they had made."
F. Scott Fitzgerald.
That is from The Great Gatsby,
Yeah,
which
you
is like,
recognize that
this
right
is so
away.
on the nose.
Yeah, it is. That's exactly what's fucking happening. It's Warren G. Harding all over again.
Yes.
I know nobody knows who the fuck Warren G. Harding was, but he was the guy that was elected before Herbert Hoover, and he was a crony of people that wanted a patsy in office so they could take advantage of him and use their graft to make money for themselves. And Herbert Hoover was his commerce secretary who was in on the game for the whole time. They didn't want Harding back, so they elected Hoover, and Hoover came in, and the Great Depression, and the stock market crashed, the Great Depression started, and Hoover did what? Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
You talking about the guy they named the Metrodome after?
No, the vacuum cleaner.
Oh, okay.
Vacuum cleaner.
All right.
So I know you guys don't like it when I go off on history stuff, but we're looking at the same sort of thing.
Yeah, no, I agree.
There's never been more of a corrupt. I mean, the corruption in this government is just fucking.
Yeah.
It's at least it's out in the open, and it was back then too.
Yeah.
Like everybody knew, everybody was in the government was on the take, and everybody knows it now too. Like the pardons that are coming up, or the pardons that have happened, the ones that may be coming up. It's all about making money for Trump and his kids, and his cronies. The Argentina thing is all about making money for his cronies. Let's give $40 billion to prop up.
Boy, that guy's a fraud, huh?
To prop up a country that's fucked itself up because of their president.
Right.
And you know what happened after the first $20 billion went in?
What?
The people, Bessett's son, fucking doubled down on his investments in Argentina, knowing another $20 billion was fucking coming.
Oh, Bassett, he's the secretary of the...
He's the Secretary of Commerce, Treasury or Commerce, whatever it is.
Don't fucking matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
But
his son is the president of Cantor Fitzgerald. They doubled down on the fucking bet that they had with Argentina on their bonds, on their state bonds, after the first $20 billion, knowing that another $20 billion was coming.
Yeah.
It's just fucking. I mean,
But the
graft
American
is just
voter
right
knows
there.
all this stuff. They know that
should.
their government is messing up.
They should.
And that's why they turned out to the polls as they did on Tuesday, because they want to try to correct the ship, steer the ship a little bit different. It's going to take them a while because American workers are underwater. They're struggling. They have to get through this minutia phase for the next year until they can vote again.
Well, I'm sure you guys all remember early 2024 when inflation was running rampant and Biden or Kamala, they couldn't smile without the right going nuts and saying, American people are hurting and these people are happy. This is disgusting. And now you've got Trump hosting these lavish parties with semi-nude exotic dancers and the media, just a free pass from the media. I mean, it should make people sick.
Oh, yeah.
It should. And maybe it did. And maybe, that's why, what happened on Tuesday happened. Maybe it was bad optics from the Trump administration to cut SNAP benefits and then on the same day throw a fucking Great Gatsby.
They're doing it on
party at
purpose. They're
Mar-a-Lago.
trolling the Americans. They're
well,
doing it on
that's
purpose.
the one thing he's good
The
at.
one thing they haven't
Fucking
said
trolling
is
people.
the Roaring 20s. They haven't said the Roaring 20s yet, but that's what they're living.
Right. While the government is shut down, everything is more expensive because of your stupid fucking tariffs, and then you have this dumbass Roaring 20s party. It's just it just seems like bad.
I thought you thought he was funny. Though.
He
Should
is funny.
make people sick.
Oh, he is funny.
It should make people sick, like you said. You know what didn't make me sick? Was my 42-ounce prime rib last night
Ooh,
at
attaboy.
the prime rib restaurant at South Point.
South Point.
Excellent.
I know that you guys think Trump is funny. I know you guys you
Yeah.
think that his trolling
He
people
is
is
funny.
actually funny. It's cute. It's quirky. When he puts the auto pen instead of Biden's picture in the White House, you guys think that's funny.
That was very funny.
When he posts the history of the White House and he puts a picture of Joe Biden like crashed out on a couch with a joint in his mouth.
Hunter Biden.
You got Hunter Biden.
In
sorry.
the bathtub.
In the
Cocaine.
bathtub. Sorry,
Joe Biden
whatever it
was crashed on
I
a
know
bicycle.
you guys think that's funny.
He's
but-
dropping poop on the city of Chicago. That's fucking funny.
Yeah.
It's
Oh, that's
fucking
hysterical. It's fucking hysterical, isn't it?
Dave Matthews did it.
I don't think this shit is funny. As you
right.
guys go along and think this stuff is funny, I don't think it's fucking funny. I mean, it's funny in the same way the sick joke is funny. It's funny in the same way that the young Republicans are talking about Nazis and glorifying Nazis and thinking gas chambers are cute. It's funny in that kind of fucking way. But you know what? I don't think farmers I don't think farmers think this shit is funny. I don't think farmers who used to sell 60% of their soybeans to China
Well, they voted
and now
for 'em, so
and
they
now they're
can
up to
fuck off.
20. They're back up to 25% because of this wonderful, the greatest fucking, the greatest meeting ever in China happened, and they're back up to 25% for 3 years. I don't think they think it's fucking funny. I don't
But
think
those
they
aren't
think it's
guaranteed
funny.
numbers
Or
either.
those, so,
Those
you know
sales
what?
aren't going to go through.
Well, whatever.
They
I
will
mean,
not go through.
okay, what they do if they don't.
You know-
Before
you know
Trump started,
why
it was
Americans
60%
laugh
was
about
funny.
this shit is because if we take it seriously, it's going to be fucking depressing. Life is too expensive, and we got to blow off the steam and say, oh my God, this is like a reality politics show. We got to make some fun of it, because if we talk about seriousness all the time, it's just going to fry our brains.
Well, maybe
You're
my
right.
brain is fried because I don't think it's funny. I don't think it's funny when fucking immigrant children are zip tied. The children of immigrant families are zip tied by a masked Gestapo that they have no control over for hours.
But we're
I don't think
talking
it's-
about two different things.
I
We're
don't think
talking
it's-
about a caricature, and you're talking about policy. I want to get back to what Ed talks about, the 42-ounce steak. Did you eat that whole damn thing?
Fuck yeah,
With
dude.
gristle.
I mean, it was so big and so fucking. It was incredible. I mean, I'm telling you, it was incredible. If you ever go to South Point, I would eat at the. It's called the Prime Rib Restaurant, so they don't fuck around. It's called.
Right,
That's
right
what
there
you
in the
get.
name.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Is
It
that
was
the one
awesome.
you get free if you eat the whole damn thing?
The old
dude. No,
90
that's like
You gotta go like
72
3 times
that's
that
the
way.
old
72?
that's the old
Yeah.
96er from the Great
Old
Outdoors. If you
96er.
remember that. movie.
John Candy.
Or in fucking Abilene when you.
There's nothing but
when you
fat and
drive
gristle
through
left on that
Highway
plate.
10.
Well, okay, back to Steve's point, because I know he does get upset about, the things that Trump are doing, and I probably do annoy him when I talk about how funny Trump is. But I will say I
you
agree
do.
with him. I agree with him when, yes, it is not funny when you have American citizens that get zip-tied and thrown into the back of vans. It is not funny that for whatever reason we chose to bankrupt the American farmer. It is not funny that we're giving $40 billion to Argentina for no real reason. They say it's America first. But, what is funny is when Trump says, this hurricane is the wettest from the standpoint of water. It's the wettest hurricane. Or when he says, we love our friends in Puerto Rico.
I
It's like, what's he doing? Tony Montana?
told them their
Or
president.
at
I
the
think
debate when he says, oh, yeah, Jeb, you're a real tough guy, Jeb.
Well, that's not funny though.
Oh, it's very
that's funny. Funny like a sick joke is funny.
It's very funny.
Well,
know, but you know what is funny?
When he's throwing paper
election
towels
stuff.
in Puerto
We
Rico?
have to go back to this high school election
Jesus Christ.
series.
No.
And-
What about his dancing?
Do you know what's funny? Do you know the only thing that's funny about Donald Trump?
What?
Do you really know the only thing? Well, there's a few things. There's two things.
His hair?
One, that he thinks he's going to be king of fucking America. That's absolutely fucking hysterical, to be honest with you. And the punchline, the biggest punchline, is the thing that makes me laugh every fucking time, is that his golden throne that he thinks he's going to sit on is literally a fucking toilet.
Yeah.
That actually makes me laugh every fucking time.
So, okay, how about this? And I'll move on after this, and I'll give you the last word after this if you want. How
that
about
was my last word.
Okay, how about this was very funny when, you're from South Carolina. You're not a Clemson fan, but you are from South Carolina. When he had the Clemson football
I'm a real South Carolina.
when he had the Clemson football team, the national championship team to the White House, and he had that buffet of McDonald's and Burger King, and that's funny.
He was just vibing on what he thought.
There's some silver serving dish that was probably given to Harry Truman by Charles de Gaulle, and
a
it's
big thing
full
of
of like
ketchup.
it's full of like McDonald's sweet and sour sauce.
Big
Like
Macs.
that's funny.
Well, wasn't that
That
during
was, again-
wasn't that during the shutdown, his first
I
shutdown?
think so. Is it
I
like
think it was
2019
during-
or something?
No, it wouldn't have been during. When was the shutdown last time? I don't, know what month
remember.
it was.
But to be fair, those
Yeah.
football players at Clemson, they were probably like, "This is awesome, dude." I had 3 double quarter pounders with cheese. This
Or are
is-
you kidding me?
I
They're the
don't
most
know.
well-fed people in America.
Yeah.
I don't think they were thinking that this is good for them. I think they were like, "Fuck this! What the fuck? This guy thinks He thinks he's black, but he's not.
So
it's probably what they.
he thinks he's
but that's probably what they were thinking.
So
Isn't that like the NAACP lady too?
oh yeah, Rachel Dolezal, yeah. Families from Polson, yeah, the Dolezal family ranch. So speaking of Trump, did you guys see his 60 Minutes interview?
90, wasn't it? 90 minutes?
I can't watch.
Oh man, did you see that, Ed?
I can't watch that.
Yeah, I saw the highlights. Dude.
Oh, some of the
It was
highlights were
fucking awesome.
Were very funny. Like when Nora O'Donnell.
You don't
said
laugh.
it,
It's
but he-
not funny though. You don't laugh at it like, oh, it's a comedian. Like
Like when Nora O'Donnell said grocery prices are up, and he said, "No, they're not. You're wrong."
No,
And it's like I'm going
you're
to try that
wrong.
this weekend at Super One when they ring me up for $116. I'll say, "No, it's $65."
sorry.
But it could really
Those
be summed up.
cranberries are
it-
much cheaper than what
It
you
could
said
be
they are.
summed up in 3 points. The whole interview was Trump saying it's the Democrats' fault, it's Biden's fault, and you're being very mean to me.
Well,
That's his whole
is
presidency.
Look, it is
Now
the
that's kind of funny, actually.
Yeah.
It is the Democrats' fault. It's okay to blame the Democrats' fault that they whooped ass on Tuesday. I mean, they just wiped out the
They did.
Republicans. It's their fault. If you're going to blame somebody, blame the Democrats.
Yeah.
They won.
And we were just talking about the auto pen. Steve was just talking about the auto pen, and that was the,
I thought you said autoped. That's the Trump presidency.
Okay.
It's the auto petty.
Well, it was the Biden was, it was essentially, Biden sitting somewhere and some guy's on a computer and they're like, hey, do you want to pardon this guy? And he goes, yeah, that sounds good. And they would just sign his signature.
Right.
Well, it came about in that interview that Trump,
No idea.
it should be the biggest part, it should be the biggest story in the country, really, that Trump said he has no idea who he's pardoning.
Zhao Benching.
Yeah,
or whatever
he
his name
pardoned
is.
this crypto billionaire, and he said,
CZ is no CZ. That's what they call him.
yeah, something
Zhao
like that.
Pen Zhang. Yeah.
But he said he has no idea who this guy is, and he only pardoned him because his sons told him to, and he heard it was a witch hunt.
right.
Yeah, that's all it takes.
So, I
And
mean,
that
it
is
was a Biden
fucking
weaponization.
disgusting.
I mean, could you imagine if Joe Biden had done that? I mean, a functioning Congress
any
would
other president.
a functioning Congress would and should hold hearings on something like this.
Right.
Like, why is the president pardoning? And if he didn't know, and it's like, so you didn't know this guy, or you didn't know that he was pardoned? Because if you didn't know that he was pardoned, then who the fuck pardoned him? You're the president.
Right.
But I think it's a good point to ask, where the hell is Congress?
Right.
Where the hell
We
is
have a
Congress?
We know where
congressional
they are. They're at
oversight
We got
committee.
535 Congress people up there, right? If I remember right. Where the hell are they?
6 non-voting delegates.
You can ask Mike Johnson that, but
the
you
House
know
of
he'd say-
Representatives is at home by order
Mike
of
Johnson
their
would
speaker.
say he doesn't know how many members there are. He'd say, I don't know. I'd have to look in that. Nobody's ever told me. I haven't heard of that. I don't know.
Well, I guess there is
that's
that
where
lady
Congress
from
I haven't read that
Arizona.
article. I haven't.
Their-
Nobody's
their
briefed me
leader-
on that.
Their leader is absent, and he is just a fucking, he's a helmet polisher for
He
fucking
is so
Trump. That's all he
absent
is.
that Marjorie Taylor Greene is starting to make sense. I mean, she goes on
Yeah,
the
that's
fucking
weird.
View. That is funny. It's like, holy
fucking
shit,
weird.
who grew up?
Well,
look
I
at,
guess
look
my-
at this teenager who grew up in the last 3 months.
I guess
That's
my
good to
She was
see.
on the fucking View.
It's like I
She
get
was on
that
the
feeling
View.
as a
That's
teacher when I
nuts.
see a kid as a freshman and then I get him back as a senior and I'm like, look at you, you're so fucking mature
you
now.
used to be a boy, now you're a girl.
And she was really giddy on the View. You could tell.
You get
could
an
tell
A.
She loved being on there.
You got to stop ripping on education like that because it doesn't go that way.
Of
Come
course
on.
it doesn't. That's the truth.
They come to me and ask
That's the
first,
joke.
and then I say, "Yeah, it's okay."
Wait, I thought we were a comedy show.
And they say, but shouldn't I ask my parents first? And you go,
That was 8.
no, but I think my whole point about the Trump pardon thing is,
Go behind me with a meat hook.
if we care about, the Biden auto pen scandal, which, I think we probably should, shouldn't this POTUS draw the same scrutiny from the media?
They should
as-
all
as
draw
Biden
the
did?
same
Teflon.
scrutiny from Congress. That's Congress's
Right?
job. Oversight is their fucking job.
Right? Because
Where
oversight
does he get
shouldn't
the
be
name?
something that's just completely
Where's he get the name
partisan and
Teflon Don,
tribal.
man? I mean, they call him Teflon Don for a reason. He doesn't have to answer to shit. Never will.
Hey, Amy.
He'll never have to. Every other president.
See you back there.
Let me
It's
just
like
rip on Trump
Teflon
a little
Ron.
bit.
Same thing happened with Reagan. It's just this.
Right. If you want to complain,
Republicans are way better at rallying the troops.
like you want to talk
They don't
about
hold
pardons
people
under
accountable.
Biden that lacked presidential, authorization, and then you pardon a guy and you claim to not know who he is. I mean, personally, I think it's a lie, and they clearly just sold this guy a pardon. And they're just
$2 billion
Yes.
worth.
Yeah, they're just
it's worth
laundering
$2 billion.
Yeah, they're just laundering money through this crypto shit.
Yep.
And then my last point here before we
They're
can
laundering Muslim money through this shit.
yeah,
All coming from the Middle East.
my last point here on the 60-minute interview, I thought this was interesting, where he said, if we didn't have tariffs, the entire world would be in a depression. And my thought
Yeah.
was,
Wait a minute, it's not a zero-sum game.
my thought was, does anyone else think it's weird that the most powerful country in the world has a president that is completely disconnected from reality? I mean, it's just like gone.
Yes. All of
like,
the other countries.
Am I the
do.
only one that's like, it's like, okay, well,
scare
policy
everybody.
aside, but it's like, it's a little weird that he is like in a different universe.
Yeah. Did you see the guys laughing about?
At the
about
UN?
about how he told them to say that he solved the problem between Thailand and Indonesia or whatever it was.
Right.
And they were just laughing about it. They were like belly laughing. They were like, oh, he didn't actually do that, but
It's
he wants
crazy.
us to say it so
it's
that he
crazy.
can get, and the woman from the leader from Seoul, nominates him for a peace prize for what reason? What did we solve the North Korea South Korea thing?
He probably has a relative.
That was right after they gave him a fucking golden crown. Like, I mean, what the fuck is going on?
But I appreciate that point, Ryan. I mean, $90 billion worth of tariffs in 10 months is making stuff cheaper somehow.
And you guys probably don't know this because you're not a lawyer nerd like I am, but yesterday was the argument in front of the Supreme Court about the tariffs.
I'm a
Yeah.
lawyer nerd like that.
and-
I'm a Supreme Court nerd.
And
for
John
sure.
Roberts questioned the Solicitor General, who is the Trump's attorney, and Trump's attorney said, yes, the tariffs are a tax on the American people. I mean, I'm paraphrasing, but essentially what he said is, look, we pass it on to the consumer, through the supply chain in one way or the other.
Wait, that's why the oil filters cost so much more at Napa?
Yes, exactly. Yes. Right. But so our last topic here tonight is Ed's old friend, Mike Johnson, the Speaker of the House. So they asked Mike about if he had
It's 9 o'clock.
if he had seen this 60 Minutes interview, and you have any idea what Mike said, Ed?
Betty said he hasn't seen it yet.
He hasn't seen it. Man, this guy's the Speaker of the House. He doesn't know a single thing that's going on in
And
the
it's not like
country.
he's working.
This dude doesn't know anything. He hasn't seen anything, but he does get a notification if his son is looking at porn. He does get that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
I don't
Well,
know
that's
if you're
important.
familiar with that
Does he
story.
have a son? I thought
Yes.
he wasn't.
So him and his son, Mike
Oh.
Johnson said this, him and his son,
Oh,
they,
yeah, they have
Is
a
his
pledge
son
or
gay, too?
something.
they struggle with porn addiction. So they have apps on each other's phones. So when his son is looking at porn, it notifies him. And when Mike is
Wait,
looking
wait.
at porn,
Is this a real story?
it is a real story. Yep.
Yes.
It's a real story.
It's real.
Yeah, it's a real story. It was. It's an old story. This was like right when he became speaker, because he's one of those weird like fucking Southern Baptist people from Louisiana. That's I was
Like
born
all
a,
of them,
I was
man.
born a snake handler. I'll die a snake
Well,
handler.
but isn't his adoptive son like whatever happened to him?
Yeah, it's I don't know, but I just always think of that whenever he says like, "Oh, I didn't see that. I don't know what's going on." It's like, well, if you're monitoring your
so-
son's porn usage.
So
but yeah.
this uber right Christian nationalist has a porn addiction?
I know.
I mean, wait. I mean, let's back up
I'm
the
as
fucking
shocked,
truck
I'm
for a
shocked
second.
as you are, Steve. I know.
Like what? I didn't know that.
I'm
You
as
said that's
shocked
been
as
out
you
for
are.
a
He's on
long
the grinder.
time.
yeah, it was.
Jeez, and I thought he was just gay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
well,
yeah. I wonder if that gets to his Grinder account if his son knows about his Grinder account too.
I
Well,
mean, I
those
get it.
guys get a pass. They get such a pass for being gay, for fucking paying for male prostitutes, hand jobs in the bathrooms. They get a pass on all this shit. We just saw 34 prominent Republicans and church members, clergy, just getting prosecuted. You see,
Yeah.
it's happening all the time.
So-
You don't hear about people on the left getting in trouble for this shit at all. You don't hear about it at all because it's not happening, but it's happening on the right. in a big way all the time, but they all get a pass. They all get a pass. Like Mike Johnson gets a pass, just like Trump gets a pass.
Like you're saying, Ed, they get a pass, but they're getting a pass from the media. I mean, how many times does Johnson say, "Oh, I hadn't seen that before," until the media figures out that he said it 15 times last week?
Right, it's coming out.
I know. Nobody calls him out.
I've seen it on social media. I haven't seen it on media. So the thing that bothers me is that it's like, I work full fucking time. I teach kids all day. I have maybe 10 or 15 minutes throughout the day where I have free time where I can do what I want. And I look at the news and I see the shit that's been happening.
Oh yeah, dude, it's wild.
And he hasn't been working for since September 19th. He sent everybody home. And he doesn't know what's going on. Like, what the fuck is going on? He's getting paid. He gets paid 3 times as much money at least as I do. Why are we not? Who is holding these people accountable? I mean, that's us. That's us in the next election. Louisiana, I hope you're fucking listening, because you are the ones who are going to hold these people accountable. Yeah. And we're going to do it here in Montana, and I hope everybody across the country does this shit and holds these people accountable for their bullshit, because we all know it's bullshit.
Yeah. Well, the attention economy that you're talking about, having to pay attention every 15 minutes is pretty interesting in itself. It's like Americans are addicted to this stuff.
Yeah.
You know, we can't put down the iPhone. We got to check the Washington Post to see what the latest update was. You know, the Daily Interlake doesn't repeat often enough. We can't go there. But we know what's going on, and we want to go look. We like that stuff.
Yeah. So the article that Ed and I were talking about was from November 2023, where it's from Rolling Stone magazine. It's where Mike Johnson admits that he and his son monitor each other's porn intake in resurfaced video. "I'm proud to tell you, my son has a clean slate," the House Speaker says, and he referred to him and his son as accountability partners.
What's his son say about him?
Right. Yeah.
They monitor their porn intake so they don't cut it off completely.
But I always
again, this is a guy who represents the far right Christian nationalist group, and he is the one. He's looking at porn and admitting that he's looking at porn all the time.
Tale as old as time.
God forgives.
I have no problem with the idea that porn exists and that people watch it. I'll be the first to admit that I've seen a few porn videos in my life.
Jesus Christ.
I know. Don't cancel me for it. But what the fuck? Jesus Christ. Like, okay, stop being so goddamn self-righteous and Christian righteous, because it's
what they do.
You're being a giant hypocrite.
Every time I see Mike Johnson do this, and he does this all the time. It's like, oh, I haven't seen it. That's news to me or whatever. I always think of that scene in the movie Fargo when William H. Macy, he's the car dealer, and the guy's calling him and is like, "Mr. Lundegaard, this is Riley Rofenbach. I need those serial numbers on the financial transaction." And he's like, "Well, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, the deal's already done. I can't really say." He's like, "Well, I need those, Mr. Lundegaard. I need the. Well, I don't know what to tell you. I don't have them in front of me." I think of that every time, but. To kind of Joe Peck's point about how no one holds these people accountable, it appears there's 4 standard, because Trump does this kind of shit all the time, where he just says like,
porn?
Where he goes, "I want to be a dictator." You know, remember he said that like 6 months ago, or he says like crazy,
"I'll be a dictator."
Crazy shit like
Day
this.
Day one, I'm going to be a dictator.
You know, and it appears to be 4 responses from any Republican they ask, whether it's Daines or that moron from Oklahoma. They always say, it's 1, "Oh, I don't know anything about that." 2, "Oh, he was just joking or trolling or whatever." 3,
because he's funny.
Yeah. 3, 3, he's allowed to do that. Or 4, "Yeah, but Biden did XYZ." That seems to be anytime something like this happens, you're going to get one of those 4 responses, because as we've talked about on the show before, these people are absolute frauds and cowards, and they believe in nothing.
Yep. And we're allowing them to fill the void because Democrats haven't been talking very much about what the hell's going on. Only recently, because of these young Democrats, the FDR Democrat out of New York City showing them the way, the Democrats starting to figure out what the hell's going on.
Yep. And meanwhile, you have a guy.
Let's talk about policies and not why we're not done with Tariffs.
And meanwhile, you have a guy like John Tester who says in an interview, I work with Joe Biden and he's never showed signs of being senile, and the media casts him into the 8th circle of hell.
Yeah.
Like he's just done.
Yeah.
So I think what's going to come of this, Trump's latest rant is, I wrote a headline here that the New York Times can use. Trump's incoherent answers to Norah O'Donnell in 60 Minutes interview raise new questions about Joe Biden's mental fitness.
Yeah, that's good. That makes a lot of sense.
That's exactly what's going to happen.
That's a straight out of 1984 headline.
Right. Obviously, you cannot stop a politician from lying because Johnson does it all the time. But, they can and did in the past. They used to punish politicians for lying. They used to get hit hard on these networks and on these news shows, but it just doesn't happen anymore.
Well, they used to be held
what I wanna
accountable
say,
for
too?
things that were unconstitutional, too.
I want to say that Democrats lie too. They lie their asses off.
Of course
and
they
that's
do.
where the old guard, like where Mike's right about it. You got these young Democrats, these new ones coming up. I don't see them as liars, and I don't think the American people see them as liars.
Right.
I mean, it's something that a lot of people sit, and if you look at a lot of our comments we get on social media, I think it's pretty funny when people say, that all we do is talk about how great it would be if Harris was president and Biden this, Biden that. I'm like, we don't
Shit.
fucking talk about these people at all. Ever.
Yeah.
We don't
Yeah,
throw
it's
any
like-
fucking support towards them. We don't fucking talk about them in any way. I mean, and that's where I think you got MAGA and the haters, the cultists are they're programmed to say anybody like us that has a free mind and we don't agree with their policies and what they're doing to people, well, we're just fucking libtards.
Right.
Well, fuck you people. I'm not a goddamn libtard. I'm a fucking American,
I'm a retard,
It's just fucking
not a
brutal.
libtard.
Well, no, we believe in things that support humans. We believe in the things that support people. And I don't know if you guys watched. We had Brian Andrews on the podcast last week, and his latest post was somewhat different from what he usually posts. And it was all about, I'm the reason why I'm doing this is because I love people and I want to serve people, and I want my music to serve people, whether it's protest music or just goddamn regular country music. I want to serve people, and that's what government has to get back to. And I know Mike he's kind of cut me down a few times tonight about like trying to serve people with government because we also have to win elections. But if we can cut through some of the fucking noise and get back to what government is supposed to do, is to serve the constituents. And it's not happening on either side right now necessarily.
Well, I mean, not to cut you down at all, but campaigning
my
is
job.
different than governing.
Yeah, okay.
Those are two different parallel roads.
You're a lot smarter than any of us in this room on that issue.
Yeah.
But I think my final point on the whole, media, how the media treats Mike Johnson, or I think his name's Dan Mullen, the guy from Oklahoma, all these people that give the same responses when Trump does this thing. It's like, look, we either have a Republican Party that is negligently unaware of current events, or a Republican Party that routinely lies to cover up corruption. Now, obviously, I think it's the latter, but the reporters need to pick one because it's one or the other.
Well, I mean, which reporters are you talking about?
I'm talking about any of the reporters.
Fox News is never gonna dig in that deep, and they're just going to report.
I don't consider that real media.
I know, but
exactly.
But
CNN,
there's the line.
CNN holds themselves out as real journalists. So it's pick one. Which is it? Are they negligently unaware of current events, or are they lying to cover up Trump's corruption? Which is it? It's one or the other. The Speaker of the House has no idea what the president's saying on 60 Minutes.
There's a lot of media
he's
out
either
there.
stupid or lying.
It's
Which
Washington Post, New York Times, LA Times, Seattle Times,
Where's
Politico,
this liberal
The
rag?
Hill?
This liberal rag New York Times I keep hearing about.
It's all different, man. It's just, I'm telling you what, I'm a guy that watches a lot of the news and all the channels. I always have been super addicted to it. I've seen it shift. I've seen it change. It is, I can't explain it other than, the conspiracy theorists and the people like us are right. They're just bought and sold by the corporate overlords that are out there, the oligarchs. They're not painting a good picture of anything for anybody, and they're just sowing the division that the people in power want us to be.
Where they want us to all hate each other. I see a photo the other day of, Little Miss Anti-Trans Riley Gaines. She's at some gala. She's at some gala taking pictures with Caitlyn Jenner. And it's like, yeah, she doesn't fucking hate trans people. This is all just a grift. This is
grift.
just
It's
a
all-
grift. It's
yeah.
like, I've got news for you people. They used the same bathroom at that event. Ooh, I know that's
I've got
scary.
news for you guys.
But it's
Amy's
like
telling me it's casino time.
her whole livelihood falls apart if you don't hate your neighbor.
Right. Well, I think that's why some of the candidates like Ryan Hunter out of Kalispell, this Mike Nelson guy who just won in Billings, they're doing well is because they have more democratic values, but they have a positive message moving forward. They're not just complaining about the past and about who's in charge somewhere federally and that kind of stuff. Right. They want to help the local people move forward and find,
villainizing trans people, gay people, whoever,
immigrants. They're not
it's
doing
like,
that.
That shit is poison. It's
or
bad
the past
for you.
mayor, or the past president, or the past governor.
Yeah, and Americans know that we have to move forward. There's no going back.
Right.
We have to find the next chapter. It's in front of us somewhere, and we need leaders who are going to tell us what it is and how we're going to get there. Mm-hmm. We can't argue about the past because it's already happened.
Yeah. No, that's a good point.
Good point, Mike.
Well, I think we can move into closing
we need some
thoughts.
smart person on this show.
Hey, right. Someone's got a brain on this show.
So, Kevin, you got a closing for us tonight?
What's some closing thoughts, Kevin?
Yeah,
what do you got
Kevin.
for us?
My big thing is 600 miles from St. Regis to Scobie. That's 200 miles shorter than going to Seattle, or longer than going to Seattle. So let's go Tigers. Come on, Russ. Get her done over there in Scobie.
Hey, Russ Cleveland.
Tigers.
Yeah,
Right.
he's coaching up some football to Saturday.
Saturday, 1 o'clock.
What's today? Thursday, right?
Maybe.
Yeah, they had to leave
Takes
on
2
Tuesday.
days to get there.
I don't know. Who
On a
gives,
yellow school bus.
who gives a shit? What day is it? Ed, you got some final thoughts for us? How are things in Vegas? Where are you going for dinner tonight?
I think we had a big lunch at the golf course, so probably a lighter dinner. It depends.
After that
I'd like
42-ounce steak, lighter dinner.
No shit, right?
Yeah. I think I need some Metamucil too. I got to stop at the Walgreens. That kind of stopped me up, but
Hey, donate to your
just
local food bank while you're there, please. Okay.
Oh yeah. I'm donating. Yeah, okay. I lost some weed at the golf course today. It wasn't real fun.
You lost weed?
Yeah, I lost my fucking weed. I don't know what the hell. I set it on the cart or something. Who knows?
Weed's legal
But
down there. They got dispensaries everywhere.
And I got enough. Yeah, it's all good. But I just say I think we don't. I don't think we stop talking about this Mike Johnson bullshit. I mean, he's horrible. That's my closing thought. I'm so sick of him. Just can't fucking deal. Can't.
What do you got, Steve?
I just got, the Epstein shutdown's got to end. It's got to end. We got to
end it.
I was watching some Bernie Sanders stuff today, and I always thought Bernie was like too far left because everything's got to be like now, and we can't take time. And I listened to him today talking about the elections and what's going on and why the elections happened the way they did. And it's just, he's absolutely fucking right. We got to take the reason we got to end the shutdown, but we cannot say we're going to just that the Democrats are just going to give the Republicans this idea that we can actually, as long as you guarantee that we get to vote on a bill that restores funding in the Senate. That's what the bipartisan stuff is going on now, is that we need a bipartisan bill that allows the Senate to vote on not raising healthcare costs. But that's just bullshit. No, we got to keep the Epstein shutdown has to keep going until we get the woman from Arizona seated and until we have a guarantee that we're not going to raise healthcare.
Mike, what do you got? Closing thoughts.
I'm still blown away that Ben Davis, that developer counselor from Whitefish, was the top vote getter. And Ryan Hunter is the new mayor of Kalispell, that conservationist,
Crazy
land use planner, and that Missoula did not elect 3 out of the 4 Democratic Socialist Party members. I mean, none of this stuff makes any sense to me, but I'm pretty happy about it.
Yeah.
I agree.
I will say this afternoon I had to put my dog of 16 years down, Daisy. It was very difficult, but it was time.
Your floor will be cleaner.
Yeah, and I will say that, you know, the things we say at funerals, we should say at birthday parties. I think there's a lot of, we leave a lot of love unspoken in our lifetimes. So call your friends and family, tell them you love them. Take care, everybody.
No,
See you
that's
next
good.
week.
Let me
love
just
you guys.
interject here.
I love
on
all
that-
you guys,
on
by
that
the way.
saying, Ryan, because
Shut up,
we
fag.
sell some flowers, and my wife Pam always says is like, look, I don't want to sell flowers to the wedding people because they're kind of freaky, but the funeral people, they will accept any kind of flowers and they never complain.
Yeah. All right. Take care, Ed.
A lot of love in this room, Ryan. A lot of love in this room.
Don't do
okay?
anything crazy.